For our last story, we shift focus to Zimbabwe, where the country is moving to cash in on surging gold prices. Its government is planning a royalty hike, which could make its gold the most heavily taxed in the region. Gold is Zimbabwe's lifeline. It helps them earn more foreign currency than any other commodity. Just this year, from January to May, Zimbabwe exported nearly $750 million worth of gold. So now, the country's finance minister is trying to milk that sector. According to his new budget proposal, if the price of gold hits above $2,501 an ounce, miners in Zimbabwe will pay 10% tax. Last month, gold hit a record high of $4,381 an ounce. It has dipped slightly since then, but largely remained above $4,000. Before the law, large-scale mines paid a flat 5% royalty. Small-scale miners were largely exempted. Now, they would be taxed too, as most producers will sit in the 10% bracket when prices are high. And here is what it will impact for the gold miners. Large miners already face heavy costs: taxes, fees, license charges. On top of that, a state mandate requires miners to surrender part of production for Zimbabwe's new gold-backed program, ZIG. A new 10% royalty will further tighten the profit margins. This will also make new investments harder, hurting the economy in the long run. Small-scale miners, who produce most of Zimbabwe's gold, face an even tougher hit. Experts say new taxes on them could raise the likelihood they sell to informal buyers or smugglers. If more gold leaves official channels, government revenues could fall and not rise. And this decision also comes at a very crucial economic moment for Harare, as it is trying to recover after spending 2 decades blaming US sanctions for its economic collapse. The sanctions began in 2001. Following the government's decision to take just last year, Washington ended its old sanctions program, but kept targeted measures on officials accused of corruption and rights abuses. Some experts say the tariff suspension looked more like a diplomatic reset for Zimbabwe.
I think it's very strategic in the sense that, number one, it's going to promote trade and economic relations with the US government, but not just trade and economic relations, but also even political relations. We are sending a clear signal, not just to the US, but to the whole world, that Zimbabwe is open for business, but also that countries are better off cooperating with each other, because imposing barriers and tariffs ultimately hits everyone, all of us.
Mending ties with the US, Zimbabwe suspended all tariffs on goods from the United States earlier this April. This after President Donald Trump imposed 18% tariffs on Zimbabwe imports. The Zimbabwean president called the suspension a move to expand American imports and boost Zimbabwean exports to the US market. Trade between the two countries has been marginal. Just $111 million in 2024. However, it's made of trade partners are the UAE, South Africa and China. The gold royalty hike and the US tariff suspension tells a bigger story. Zimbabwe is trying to pull in revenue while also signalling openness to the outside world.
I wore the crown of a revolutionary. I promised to lift my nation. I claimed to fight imperialism. I became the very thing I warned against. I funded militias across continents. I feared my own shadow. Some called me the King of Kings. History calls me something else. The dictator. Who am I?